Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back once again to the Max Factor. For those of you guys that might be tuning in for the first time, well, I'm excited to say that this is the absolute final episode of the first season. And what an incredible experience it has been. You know, I started this podcast with one purpose in mind: to help people to discover their true passion in life. Because my father always taught me that if you find what you love and do what you love on a daily basis, you will never work a day in your life. And that's why this program is named the Max Factor. It's a Max Factor to remind each and every one of us that just like my father, Max, taught me, it's possible for each and every one of us to truly live a life of passion and excitement, follow our dreams, and like he said, never work a day in your life. So with that said, I could tell you that over this past season, I got to meet so many absolutely fantastic, inspirational individuals. And at the end of, or during each and every one of these podcasts, I actually got more excited, more energized, and more pumped up to become the best version of myself. So I figured, what better way to close out this first season than to share with you some of the amazing stories, some of the amazing individuals, and some of their incredible accomplishments and the advice that they give to each and every one of us that would help us to live our best life. And the first clip I'm going to share with you is none other than Scott Chesney. He's an absolutely fantastic individual. He literally is paralyzed from the waist down. And in spite of this, what most people would call handicap, he has learned to not only live life to the fullest, but to exceed living life to the fullest and literally shock and awe all of the people around him. He's an example of just reaching for the stars, living to your absolute best potential, and being an example of excellence for all those. So, you know what? This clip speaks for itself. Here it is.
Is something tough in life, Brian? If it's tough, guess what? It's going to require a little bit more work, a little bit more effort. Okay, Scott, it's impossible. I take that apostrophe and I put it between the I and M in impossible, and I make it I'm possible. So the impossibility might just take a little bit longer. But you know what? There's nothing out there that I'm not at least going to go after. Do I succeed at everything? No. But do I learn a hell of a lot from my failures? Absolutely. How would we know success if we didn't know failure? How would we know pleasure if we didn't experience pain? How would we know a lit room if we didn't know darkness? It's about embracing life's polar opposites. So if there's a part of life, like, hey, I'm not saying to go out and fail. I'm not saying you got to go out and fail, but you know what? Knowing full well there's something to be learned in failure, would never be where I am in my life had it not been for all my failures in life and all my successes.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing. I know that even just watching that just now, I am jacked out of my skull and literally ready to run through a brick wall. I could tell you this next clip that I'm going to share with you is a father-daughter team. And there is almost nothing better than seeing a family work together as closely as these two are working to achieve their dreams. And you know, one of the things that I got from the conversation from them is that, you know, reaching for the stars in one area of life, as an example, in athletics, these two, this father-daughter team, Pat and Brooke, showed up to my office in the morning after completing their 5 a.m. workout, which consisted of over 100 burpees, and in between each burpee, they each did a pull-up. So essentially, each of these maniacs did 100 burpees and 100 pull-ups as part of their morning routine. And if being around them has proven anything to me, it's proven that succeeding in one area of your life, like athletics, can give you the confidence that spills over into other areas of your life, like your business. And these two are completely crushing it in their businesses. I'll let their clip speak for itself. Here's Brooke and Pat.
I give her a list. Here's what you do. You want me to help you? I want you to incorporate, get a name, incorporate the business, get insurance. I don't know what I gave you a list. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, when you get all that done, you come see me, and I'll take you to look for space, and we'll see what we could do, right? I believe in you. I wake up in the morning, who's still sitting at that kitchen island? Oh, I go, this is not happening. So I look at her and I go, papers all over the island. And we had a big island. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I got everything done but whatever it was, insurance, because nobody was open. Like, I incorporated the business. I did this. I did that.
I did do the business.
I was like,
yeah.
She goes, can we go look at that space today? I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, I'm thinking we're going to talk like next month, you know? And right then and there, I knew this is happening. This is happening.
Unbelievable.
The one thing I said is, if
I
don't do this, I'm going to look at it in a year when people are opening acai shops, and I'm going to say, damn, I should have done that. That's literally what I said. And I said, I'm telling you right now, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret this in a year.
I don't know when you sleep. And I swear, it just... to this day, I still am always like...
that was really no sleep. Now I get more sleep now.
Maybe 5 hours instead of 2.
That's awesome.
I will say though, I mean, going to your comment before, I didn't even think, hey, this is work. Like if someone's saying like, I can't get the motivation to kind of do it, then they're just not doing the right thing. They're not doing the right thing. Yeah. I didn't think one day like, oh, this is work. I gotta wake up today. I'm like, holy crap, I can't wait to freaking design this place.
That is awesome.
It was just fun.
All right. That was absolutely incredible. And what I pull from that is this. Brooke and Pat have something that I think every successful entrepreneur has, a positive mindset. And this next guy is also a very inspirational individual. He's overcome cancer. He's invented several different products across various different industries, ranging from fitness all the way to haircutting, which I have absolutely no use for. But this guy's become an incredible friend to me, and even more important than being an incredible friend, an incredible inspiration. And as the saying goes, many of us who are around self-help and inspirational books know that you become like the 5 people you hang around the most. And if I could hang around Jose a little bit more often, I think it would be absolutely fantastic, because this is somebody that I absolutely aspire to be like. He's inspirational, he's creative, and he follows through in his ideas and makes his ideas a reality. Here's Jose talking all about positive mindset. Take it away, Jose.
It's not even so much about having a positive mindset, right? It's just about, it's about like developing the habits that create a positive mindset. So I think, well, like for me and for a lot of the entrepreneurs and people that are in personal development space that I follow, it's about having the right like habits, like rituals every day, right? Like, what are you listening to? What are you starting your day off with? How are you starting your day? Are you starting your day off like reading, watching, or listening to something that's going to support you to become the greatest version of yourself, right? Like, it's not just going to happen magically. You're not going to do it by just following the same old routine that you were following for the past, 10, 15 years. Here's another interesting, fact I hear all the time. Psychologists say that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, right? But you know what the problem is that like over 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts you had yesterday. So if you want your life to change, you have to change the thoughts today. If you want tomorrow to change, you have to change thoughts today. And how do you do that? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching?
That's awesome.
That's conditioning your mind. That's how you do it. It doesn't just happen by waking up and going, I'm going to be positive today.
Freaking A. I'm almost as pumped up from watching that clip as I was the first time that I actually went through the podcast with Jose. But I'll tell you what, like this next guy had really gotten me jacked up. He's kind of laid back. He's kind of like down to earth, more of a laid back type of individual. But when he opens his mouth and he starts to talk, I encourage you to really listen hard, because he has got some absolutely fantastic advice. And this is advice that talks about the way we communicate with the most important person in the world, and that's ourselves. And through my conversation with Tony, he made me recognize that how important it is, not just in how we communicate with others, of course so important, but even more important probably is how we communicate to ourselves. So I'm going to shut it down right now, and I'm going to refer back to this clip and let Tony tell you all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Tony's clip. Take it away.
One of the things that I talk about a lot is like the power of internal rhetoric, like internal dialogue, the words that we choose, how we describe things, how we even speak. You know, I can speak to somebody and I can hear the words that they choose, and I can tell you how they view everything.
Yeah.
You know, I can their tone, I can tell you how they feel about everything. Where and it's work for myself too, but I realize that my internal dialogue is almost at a default negative and self-deprecating.
Yes.
and doubting and fearful.
I heard a statistic that 95% of people walk around in a negative state like you're describing.
I can imagine. And I think it's because it's such an unconscious, subconscious rhetoric that it's not words, it's feelings, right? So I wake up and I don't feel good, but my body doesn't say, oh my God, Tony, today you don't feel good. My mind just says, ugh, right? And so now how do I react to that? And so the words, again, the words that I choose to say, like you said, you know, I have the ability to wake up today, as opposed to, God, I have to wake up today.
Yes.
And so that dialogue, if you can start shifting it, and this is part of a lot of what I discuss, if I can start shifting my internal dialogue, I can start changing the way that I feel, the way that I see the world, the way that the world sees me. And so those things are just so important.
All right, folks, this next dude is like my brother from another mother. I mean, this guy almost looks exactly like me, and it's not just because we share the same haircut, all right? Mike Luzio is off the freaking charts, exciting individual who has not only created a successful business that he exited from, but now he's helping entrepreneurs all across the country recognize their dreams as an investor in their businesses. He's had several successful startups that he has helped bring to $10 million, $20 million, $30 million companies. He's an absolutely incredible individual. Ladies and gentlemen, brother from another mother, same haircut, Mike Luzio.
If you have an idea and you have a dream and you have a drive and you have a purpose and you have supportive people around you, and you needed supportive people around you, as we all do. I mean, I couldn't have done it without my family around me. Go do it, man. Give it a shot. Because you know what? You always regret it. You'll always regret it. You'll be 55 years old and you'll say to yourself, damn it, I had a chance to take a shot. Take a shot. It's okay. You know what? Worst case scenario, you jump in there for 2 years and it doesn't work out. Go back to doing what you're doing. It's the greatest thing. It's exhilarating. And to your point, I wake up, certainly when I had IRG and now that I have the LVE group, I love it. I love every day of it. It's like I used to I'd work all day because it was awesome. Because I loved what I did. I loved my employees. I loved my customers. I treated them right. I treated everybody right. I ran a tight ship. I got in before everyone. And the first email of the day was me. The last email of the day was me. Because I wanted people to see that I worked just as hard. Even after we sold the business, people said, what happened the day after you sold the business in 2013? I went from doing well to doing really well, right? And watching the wire hit. You know, you're sitting there watching, you're refreshing the click on the Bank of America screen, waiting for the wire to hit, right? It hits.
That's awesome.
August 15th, 2013, my daughter's first birthday, of my 3 kids. And August 16th, it was a Thursday, I woke up, I went to work, 6 o'clock in the morning, same day. I text my business partner, my business partner, Joe. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm working. I know, that's all we do. That's what we do. Like, I was working the next day. There was there was a brief celebration, but it was like, hey, these guys just paid a ton of money. I want to show them that we're worth it. Like, boom. That's what an entrepreneur is, in my opinion.
Yo, so if that wasn't exciting, I don't know what is to you. But here it is. This next guy blew me away. Brian Dalmasso. Now, there's so many people that think you are who you are and you can't change who you are at all. In other words, they think that you're born with a certain skill set, you're born with a certain talent level, you're born with a certain kind of beliefs, and that your future, therefore, is determined before you even get started. Then there's others who believe that you have more control than you would have ever before imagined. Now, this guy, Brian, he made me realize that I and everybody else on the face of the earth has more control over our future than we may have ever before imagined. And it starts with our beliefs, and our beliefs control our actions, and our actions control our outcomes. So here it is. Get jacked out of your skull, Bryan Dalmasso.
Anything that can be programmed into the subconscious mind can be programmed out and then reprogrammed through the spaced repetition of emotionalized ideas. And even things like PTSD or depression, people aren't born with PTSD, so that the evidence states that gets programmed in by environmental stimulus over time. Now, what people need to realize and have hope with is, even if they don't know how, if they seek out the information and work with somebody that does know how, they can unprogram that and program back in whatever they want, like, have a loving, caring, peaceful, we call it mastering the art of remaining calm, right? You can eliminate fear, doubt, and worry. And if you don't have fear, doubt, and worry, then you don't have stress. And if you don't have stress, you don't have the physical form of anxiety. And if you don't have anxiety, you don't lead to depression. That's just a chain of the transmutation of energy to and through the mind and through the body into what people call depression and anxiety.
Yo, so that is it. The end of season 1, people. Thank you so much for being such an incredible audience. We've had thousands and thousands of downloads. Incredibly excited for season 2, where we're going to share even more powerful, if it's possible, we're going to share with you even more powerful, even more inspirational people and stories. Until then, take your entire life to the max.